Hey
Good.
guys, hope you all are having a good evening. As we get started on this call, we're going to be talking about how to be a professional hobby coach. Is that what we're calling it, Rachel?
Yeah,
Professional hobby
sure.
coach.
That's a fancy term for it.
Yeah. And basically, this equals out to how to pay for your Shakeology. Like, if you just wanted to make sure that you could pay for your own Shakeology every month, this is the basic things that you need to be doing to be a hobby coach. And the big overarching theme is going to be consistency, which is going to be one of the main four things that we talk about. But we'll talk about that towards the end. But you're going to hear it throughout. So I want to make sure that we all know that consistency is number one. So the first topic is going to be social media, which of course Rachel and I have talked about many times. But what's the bare minimum? What's the basic that you need to be doing? So basic is 2 posts a day. 2 posts a day, bare minimum. And that would be a Beachbody related post and a non-Beachbody related post. The Beachbody related posts, I would suggest you switching it up every single day. You don't want to just post your sweaty selfie every single day, 7 days a week. So, maybe it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's a sweaty selfie with a workout video, and then maybe it's a Shakeology. But if you do a Shakeology, you need to talk about the benefits of Shakeology. There's so many different things, but having a different Beachbody related thing every single day. So you're kind of hitting what you're doing, but it's all in the story. I would always suggest in a storytelling way. You're sharing your story through those kinds of things.
And I would tack on to that it's not necessarily Beachbody focused. It's your journey focused. So even if it's not your workout or your shake or a picture of your food, it's sharing a health and fitness related aspect of your journey or a tip or providing value in that way. It doesn't have to be you holding a shaker cup saying, "Hey, it's my shake, it's so good." It can be something else. It can be, "Hey, I'm out and about and last week I couldn't walk up this flight of steps without feeling winded." It's finding other ways so it's not monotonous about what they're seeing day in and day out. So that you aren't viewed as one of those coaches. We don't want that.
And then, so the other one is non-Beachbody related. For me, that's just sharing my life. I think I just posted something a little while ago, which was looking for a book for my 11-year-old and what she's reading. I got so many comments on that one topic. And the reason for that is just to get more engagement in your page, because you need people to see not only those non-related things, but you need to build the consistency with the fitness and nutrition and Beachbody, your workout, your journey on that level. So.
Yeah, and when Jennifer and I were discussing this, we kind of tossed around a couple numbers of what is the ideal number of posts per day. And I wouldn't stress over like, okay, I didn't get out 2 today, let me freak out. But I would say you're doing 2 and you're evening it out. So you're sharing your life, but you're also sharing your health journey. Then you're not going to be overloading people's newsfeed, but you're going to be consistently sharing your story along the way. So 2 posts is a great baseline for doing that. We're good with that topic, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the next one is challenge groups. So topic 1 was social media. Area 2 is challenge groups. And this one, I don't want to step on toes, but Jennifer and I were talking about this and we're like, there's no way that you can be a Beachbody coach and have any kind of even small success and not be running a challenge group. Challenge groups are our bread and butter in this business, because that's where the relationship comes in, because we're not just a shake distributor. We're a relationship focused business, or if our heart's in the right place, we are. And so we should be running a challenge group. This doesn't mean we have to do it by ourselves. We have enough hobby coaches on our team that we can be leading Just like we're doing with our team right now and we did last month, we could be co-leading. I know a couple of you have your own groups, which I love. I got a shout out to Alice. She's got her own group and she has done a great job in that group. There's tons of engagement. She provides tons of value, shares lots of recipes, and they love her to pieces. So running a challenge group is a key piece to being able to build that momentum in your business and have long-lasting customers. I don't even like calling them customers. They're like your friends, your family. So you must be running or co-leading a challenge group. And with that, you owe it to your challengers to be consistent. So when people sign up with you, whether it's a base kit or a challenge pack or an on-demand subscription, you owe it to them because they have trusted you with their health journey. And so you owe it to them to be consistent in posting daily, in commenting on their posts within the group daily, engaging with them and loving on them. They're trusting you with their health. And so it's our job as coaches to be present in that group. Because not only is it our bread and butter when it comes to the money side of things, it's our bread and butter when it comes to the relationships. And that's where you're going to grow referrals. And if you're helping people get results, your business is going to grow. I mean, it's inevitable. If you're helping people get results, it will eventually consistently grow. So I think Jennifer and I were going to share our co-leading story about how she and I started out leading challenge groups, because I think a lot of times people look at our challenge groups and it's a rarity. It's not the norm to have such productive, engaging challenge groups. I think a lot of coaches struggle with this. And for Jennifer and I, she and I have spent tons of time behind the scene investing in these groups because A, we love on people, number one. I mean, that is hands down will always be our number one focus. And B, we want them to succeed. And so it requires a lot of effort behind the scenes to run a group. But so Jen, do you want to share our story with challenge groups?
Yeah. So basically I started my very first challenge group back in October. Was it October of 2015? And I really started it because Rachel reached out to me and wanted to do size. And that's when I decided to sign up as a coach because I didn't want my coach to get her commission. So you guys have probably heard that story by now. I was like, oh, I can make money. I'm going to sign up as a coach. So I knew that I had been in a challenge group and I knew what that looked like. I knew being a coach meant that I had to run a challenge group. So I get Rachel, she's my first customer and she's family. So she didn't want anything to do with it, but I suckered her into it. I was like, and her mom, my aunt. I was like, you two are doing my challenge group. And I had one other person. So my very first challenge group had 3 people plus me, 4 people. That's it. And in the beginning, it was just me posting every day. I had no clue what I was doing. I was leaning on my coach and what she had done in her challenge group. And so I was posting every day and, I was forcing Rachel to post her sweaty selfies and her mom to post her sweaty selfies. So I just want you to know that that's it. Like, that's all you have to do. When you have your first challenge group, sucker your people in, sucker your friends and your family, and just guilt them into doing the challenge group with you because you're going to be more comfortable with your friends and your family. So then I suckered Rachel into becoming a coach. This is a rarity as well.
Does anybody notice this theme here?
Yes, I forced her. Now look at her, right? So I'll be going, yeah, I made that. Just kidding. So she signed up as a coach. And in the beginning, it's funny because you wouldn't think this now, but she wanted nothing to do with running a challenge group. She wanted nothing to do with leading a group. She wanted none of that. But so then I kind of got her into the point where she realized that people were starting to follow her and wanting the same things that, she was doing. And so she realized she needed to run a challenge group. And I just said, let's co-lead a challenge group. Let's do it for a month and see where you are. And we did that for the first month and we were about to break off. We were about to sit down and say, okay, December or January, I think it was January. We were going to, Rachel was going to go off and do her own group and take her people with her, and I was going to keep my group and have my people. And honestly, those people did not like it. They freaked out. Yeah, they freaked out. They did not want us to split the group up. And it's been an entire year that we've been a team co-leading this challenge group, which started as mine and is now a big, huge group with Rachel and I. And we co-lead it normally every other month is how we run it. But you can co-lead anyway, just like we're doing in Core de Force. Rachel has created a schedule, and it basically just rotates through the coaches. I think we have 6, 7 coaches, something like that. And it just rotates through the schedule. So honestly, this month, I think I only have 5 posts that I have to do. So you can co-lead any way you feel fit. And the other piece of having a co-led, so Rachel and I, well, I'm not leading an individual team right now, but I know Rachel has like 5 challenge groups right now or some craziness. So you do what you can do. But the point of saying that is if you're a hobby coach, why not lead with another hobby coach? It takes the stress off of always being the only one leading.
Yeah.
That's kind of my point in that story.
No, I agree with that 100%, because as a hobby coach, you're trying to maximize the time that you do have to devote each day. And if you're lessening the challenge group load by half, then it will really help your load. So I encourage you to find someone, whether it's in this team or not in this team, within your family or not in your family, find someone to lead with. And the Core de Force team will be talking about what that looks like after this 30 days and like figuring that out. But so topic 2 was bread and butter is challenge groups. So in order to be a productive hobby coach, you have to be present on social media and running a challenge group. So those are 2 of the main things. The next one is conversations. Jen, do you want to go into that one?
Yeah. So obviously, we've talked many times that this is a people-driven business, and that means that you have to talk to people. That means you have to engage and have conversations with your challengers, with your friends, because as you start this journey and you're sharing your journey on social media, you're going to have people asking you about it. And whether that happens the first month or 4 months later or 6 months later, here comes consistency again. You're going to have people talking to you about it. One, they're going to see you losing this weight. They're going to see you. Your confidence is going to be up, and they're going to be going, what are you doing? So you're going to be having conversations. So our suggestion is, like we said, we kind of just, what is the bare minimum? What is that basic that you need to do? And that would be to reach out to 2 challengers a day behind the scenes. So let's say you don't have a challenge group yet. You don't have challengers yet. Most of us do, so this may not apply, but I would say you're talking to 2 people a day, regardless. So you post a sweaty selfie and somebody likes your sweaty selfie or comments, then you start up a conversation with them. It doesn't have to even be anything to do with them purchasing anything. It's just a genuine, like, I'm your friend conversation. We're not here to sell to people. We're here to sell a lifestyle. And you just want to make sure you're having genuine conversations. So two people a day. I'm going to say 2 people, can be challengers or whoever, but behind the scenes. And invite 5 people a week. And Rachel can probably touch on this a little more about what we're thinking, but inviting 5 people to a challenge group.
So this is that's where step 1 is to have a challenge group. Step 2 is to be inviting to it. And the reason why is, and it's very discouraging, trust me, I fully realize this, but it's it's going to be very rare that people come to you. It'll be your friends and people who've been watching your journey or things like that. But it's going to be very rare that somebody's going to come to you and say, here, let me do this. Let me sign up right now. They have to be in the right mindset to reach out to you like that. So that's why invites are so important, because you're opening the door for a conversation, whereas somebody might have been too chicken to reach out to you. You know, emotionally or mentally, they might be so unhealthy that they have such self-doubt that they are so afraid to pull the trigger, and they're watching you from the sidelines, but they just can't find the guts to reach out to you. And so I know that invites can be overwhelming. Even in this phase of the journey, it's not always my favorite, especially if it's people I don't have a great solid relationship with already. It feels weird, but at the end of the day, you know, if you're not opening that door, people aren't going to walk through the door and come to you. Unfortunately, it sucks. But at the same time, it gives you an opportunity to share your heart and to share what this has done for you. So if you view invites as a scary thing, it's going to feel scary and it's going to feel icky. But if you view it as an opportunity to change someone's life, you know, when I don't want to do it at the end of the day, I think, okay, whose life do I have the opportunity to change today? Who might need this message? Who might be where I was 16 months ago? And had Jen not been posting on social media, I wouldn't have known anything about size, and I would never be where I am right now. And so I'm doing a disservice to my friends and my followers by not inviting. But a baseline for that is 5 people a week. I do more than that because I have goals, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but I have certain goals that I want to reach each week. But a great baseline is 5 a week. So that gives you a break day. You could do them all in one day. Obviously, if you finish all in one day, then hey, why not invite 2 more the next day? Don't stop at 5. But your minimum 5 for sure. So that's kind of where we had left it. That's what we were thinking as far as the number of invites per week.
And I want to go back. Can I interrupt you for a second? I want to go back to challenge groups as well as conversations. When I first started with, you know, Rachel and her mom in my first challenge group, it was a size related challenge group, but that was because it was family and they were doing the program that I was doing. My recommendation, and maybe Rachel feels differently, but I've always been prone to lead free challenge groups, which, you know, Megan is, I think, going to speak to us about at some point, her success in free challenge groups. But free challenge groups also takes that pressure off of having them purchase something. And if you're on the fence about like you having to require people to purchase something, if that makes you a little uneasy, I think the best way is to start with a free challenge group. One, it gets you in there and it teaches you what you need to do in running a challenge group, and it builds up your confidence, because it's all going to revolve around confidence in speaking to people, confidence in sharing your story, confidence in knowing that the products work, and knowing that you can share the products with other people without thinking that you're pushy. So free challenge groups, which, like I said, Megan's going to talk to us about how she does her challenge groups at some point. But I love free challenge groups because we've talked about goals. You know, my goals look different. My goals are helping people, regardless of whether they're doing a Beachbody program or not. That's kind of a bonus to me. So,
totally second that. Amen. Okay, so the last one is, and this is obviously a reoccurring theme, and probably the toughest pill to swallow. So put your big girl and boy britches on. Consistency is the key. It is I can't even tell you, it's like the lifeline of this business. This is not a short-term instant gratification company. I mean, it's just not. And I think that's a good thing, because if it was, it would be filled with people who aren't in it for the right reasons. And those who stick around for the long term, most of them are genuinely wanting to help people. I haven't come across a single coach in any of my leaders groups or leaders pages or anything like that. Everyone is so helpful, and they're so quick to share information, and they're so quick to I mean, take Megan, for example. She's not even technically on our team, but she's so quick to send us information and give us things to help us and encourage us along the way. So consistency. And there's a couple pieces to that. Number one, and this one steps on toes, is Success Club. And I didn't understand why Success Club was so important in the beginning. Honestly, I just knew that was something I needed to do. I didn't know what I was doing. And I said, okay, well, if all these successful coaches are reaching Success Club, then that needs to be a non-negotiable in my business. And even if I didn't understand why, reflecting back, now I understand why you have residual income when you're hitting Success Club consistency, because those challengers, even if they don't buy the shakes every month, they might buy every other month, or they might buy a new program. And so you start to build a client base that ends up helping you grow residual income that just naturally comes in your paycheck without you having to do extra work for it. So hitting Success Club is that bare minimum that the next month you have a 1 in 3 chance of someone either signing up as a coach or buying another Shakeology pack. So that's either $40 commission in your pocket, or that's ranking. That's helping you rank to the next level by signing up a coach. So consistently hitting, and that comes from invites. So that goes, I mean, we come full circle with that. That comes back to invites. If you're not inviting, you're not going to hit Success Club. So there's Success Club 5, Success Club 10. Just to break it down, Success Club 5 is 3 challenge packs. Success Club 10 is 5 challenge packs. There's also Shakeology auto ship, like home direct, but we rarely get many of those. But so that's a baseline. And if you think of it that way, if you're inviting 5 people a week, what is that, 20 people out of the month that you have the opportunity to connect 3 of them to a challenge pack? You know, the odds are semi-decent in that, but if you look at that ratio. Consistency pays off. And Jennifer and I are going to talk about how this looks in our own businesses. For me, this is a concept that I've clung to for dear life in my business because, one, I had no other way out, because I set my mind to this and I said, this is where my family is going. This is going to happen. I don't want to work in corporate America anymore. And so consistency was a non-negotiable, but that meant consistency in every area. And so one of the things that Jen and I would say is you can't pick and choose one of these areas to be good at. You can't pick to be good at challenge groups and not show up on social media. Nobody's going to know that you're a coach. You can't pick to be good at reaching out to conversations behind the scene and not show up on social media, because there's no that. They don't trust you. They don't know what you're doing. So for me, I've seen a lot of benefit in this season of my business from the invites that I did 8 months ago, and 6 months ago, and 10 months ago, because all those people had to watch me for 10 months before they finally said, all right. And that's just the being consistent and not giving up when there's not instant gratification. If you continue to stick around and you continue to share your heart and your journey from a genuine place, 10 months later, those people have tried 3-4 different things that didn't work out. And they're finally like, all right, Rachel, tell me about this quarter 4 stuff. And so for me, that's what it is. It's knowing that those invites are seeds that I planted. They will come to fruition at some point, even if it's not right now. And I know that it's hard because a lot of you have done active inviting before, and it's very discouraging when you hear no, or you get ignored. Trust me, I get ignored by so many people every day. It's ridiculous. But you know, that's still a seed planted. Today, I had somebody who I sent a thank you for the like message 7 months ago. 4 months ago, I invited her to a challenge group. She ignored me. So I sent her, I'm not in the business of harassing people, but I sent her another message today and planning out for my January, inviting her to learn more about my January group. And she said, you know what? I was thinking about you yesterday. I'm so glad you messaged me. It took 7 months for her to finally pull the trigger. And that's just people's own inner issues. And that there's nothing wrong with that. They have to be in the right place. And we have to reflect on our journey. And when I had tried tons of things before something stuck. And so it wasn't until I was in the right mindset to be receptive to watching Jen's journey. And even then, I had to watch her journey for several weeks. It's different because she was family, so I was pretty quick to jump on board. But, I had to watch her and trust her journey. The next piece of that is defining success for you. And this goes back to our goal setting call. Go back and listen to it if you weren't a part of it, or listen to it again if you forgot it. But define success for you, because our success is going to look so different, and there's no comparing. There's just because I hit this number and Jen hits this number, they are the same, because if her goal is to hit this number and my goal is to hit this number, we both succeeded and we hit our goals. And so you have to define what it means to you to be a coach and what your goals are, what your why is. And unfortunately, a lot of coaches just want the magic solution for telling you what to do. At the end of the day, you have to be the one to set that goal and define what your success is. If your success means coming home from corporate America, great, let's break it down. If your success means paying for your shakes every month, well, we're working on breaking that down for you right now. But you have to define what success looks like for you. Okay, so the next one, I kind of already touched on this. Don't give up when immediate success isn't seen. I mean, those first, if you can stick it out a year, 6 months to a year as a hobby coach, you will start to see consistent residual income at the 3 to 6 month mark, because you're growing your clientele. So if you can stick with it and do these different categories consistently, then you're going to start to see that, you're going to start to see all your efforts pay off. But it won't happen unless you're consistent. So, Jen, do you have anything to add to that category?
Yeah, I just want to remind people that Rachel and I have been in this journey for, a year and a half, basically. But we really didn't see what this business could do for us until January of this year. Yeah. Megan, if you want to jump in, feel free. She's agreeing. So basically, it's the consistency. You may not see, $1,000 paychecks for a year or two or more. Mm-hmm. Everybody's journey is different. But it's the consistency. If you're consistent with your own journey and sharing that journey, if I am nothing else as a coach, I think everybody could look at my Facebook page and know that I am genuine with sharing my life. I'm an open book. I don't hide anything, for better, for worse. And I've had a lot of criticism recently about some marriage postings. So, but I have to share that, because that's how I'm healing. That's my personal development, sharing that journey. So that consistency, and Rachel, I know, touched on it, but that consistency is what brings me clients. Honestly, I know December is a rough month in terms of the business and selling challenge packs for the average person. So I think that I've had 2 people just this week reach out to me who I had spoken to at least 6 months ago, at least. And I didn't give up on them. They're on my radar, but I knew that they weren't ready. And I am like Rachel, I'm not ready to push. But they both reached out to me and was like, all right, I'm ready. And I want to do it this month. I want January to start out right. So that is that consistency piece. So if you are posting every single day about your journey and you're running a challenge group, your challengers are the best people to bring you new people, to help new people. Plus, they're going to be the ones to turn into coaches themselves and talking to people. That's wrapping it up. I just want to remind you guys that this is a long-term business. And I remember when I started, we were doing calls with my upline diamond coach. And I remember one thing he said was, you have to commit to a year, and nothing less than a year. And Maybe I'm not where I want to be right now, but I'm not where I was in my personal journey and in my Beachbody business journey. So just keep going. You're here for a reason. Don't get disappointed or lose focus on what your goals are.
And I will tack onto that a year of consistency, not a year of starting and stopping and inviting and not inviting and challenge groups and not challenge groups. That you won't go anywhere doing that. So just know that it means a year of being consistent. And I can even just say 6 months of being consistent. If you're consistent in inviting for 6 months and working on you for 6 months, you're going to do well. By your definition of success, not ours. Let's make that clear.
Yeah, because I will say that I feel like this business is so resilient. Like, you can be going through a hard time and need to step away or take a break, but you can come back. I think that's the biggest piece for me is I've had an emotionally difficult year on my own journey in my personal development world. And I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do for my business, but it's been there and I've been consistent on my personal journey. I've never wavered from that personal journey.
Yeah. And sharing that.
And sharing that.
Okay, so those were the 4 categories that we had kind of envisioned for hobby coaches. I know it's not really a to-do list per se, but a lot of that stems from defining what success looks like. And so at that point, figuring out that on a personal level and then reaching out to your upline, either me or Jen, to figure out how to make that game plan happen and what the actual to-dos look like each day, and finding a manageable groove for you. And you're the only one that's going to know that. So if your manageable groove is 15 minutes a day, then that's good. Let's figure out what 15 minutes a day looks like for you. If it's 2 hours a day, then great. Let's see what 2 hours looks like for you. I can promise you I did not spend as much time on my business in the beginning as I do right now, but I'm farther along, and that's the natural progression. So questions. Anybody have questions we can answer, hopefully? Alice, go for it.
So for this whole, the challenge packs aren't going to be on sale anymore. I just remember when I first started